Welcome to the Planet 63 Virtual Business Matchmaking Show, the next evolution of discovering Philippine and U.S.-made products and services. This is the show that helps create global sales opportunities and bring Philippine and U.S.-made products and services go from local to global. Thank you for watching the show, and now please welcome the host of Planet 63 from Local to Global, Ferdinand B. Soriano. Market research. To be more specific, international market research. It is a key piece of the successful export plan in globally expanding your market. To me, market research is like going on a dream trip, right? I suppose you can go on with the trip and go with the flow and see where the wind sort of takes you, or you can plan your trip, prioritize what you want to see, and then check your budget to make sure you have money to be able to see all these places and do things, all these things that you want to do, right? Now, if you're trying to export, it's sort of kind of like the same. And it's like going to another country. If you're trying to export and expand your products, your market into other countries, you can't afford to just go where the wind sort of takes you. You need all the help you can get. You need all the data you can get. Hi, everyone. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am your host for this special edition of Planet 63's From Local to Global. And I'm also the founder of Planet 63. We're a product sourcing, we're a logistics management company, and we're also an export marketing company based in the United States. Now, the overall purpose of the show is to create awareness and buying opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. We also want to encourage U.S.-based entrepreneurs to create businesses that are tied into Philippine-made products, services, and investments, of course. Now, in this episode, we want to discuss the opportunities of the world's most favorite fruit in terms of recorded consumption quantity. Bananas. Love that banana split, everyone. The leading importer of banana in 2019 was actually the United States, with a market share of 16.8%. That's a lot of bananas. Now, most of these bananas are coming from Costa Rica, Colombia, and you guessed it, the Philippines. Now, our episode is not just solely on bananas. That's crazy. As the old phrase goes, that would be totally bananas to just talk about that, right? That's my attempt at humor. We also want to talk about a product from the Philippines that is made from a different type, or a type of banana called saba. It is used in the Philippines for mostly in desserts. Now, that's what our episode is about today. And the market share that we want to present today to all of you is, well, we created this research with a Philippine company in mind called Golden Saba. Now, as much as I want to take all the credit for the information that you will hear today, I can't. You know why? Because the reason why I can't do that is because Planet 63 has been able to provide value first in all of its initial business meetings or beginnings in any of our business relationships. And because we collaborate, the way we do that is we collaborate with Cal State University San Bernardino's Global Access Program. What they do with Planet 63 is they help us create market research. They provide highlights and a brief explanation of the size and value of most industries in the U.S. market. Now, these are all valuable information, especially to a Philippine manufacturer or brand owner who's trying to get into the U.S. market. And and most of the research papers that we do and collaborate with Cal State San Bernardino is all various types of industries in the U.S. market. Now, let's meet the individual that creates these research, or we call it here at Planet 63, empowerment data. He's an amazing technical writer. He's currently a senior at the Cal State University San Bernardino, majoring in international business, and a valuable student intern in the Cal State University San Bernardino's Global Access Program, and of course, Planet 63. Please welcome Joseph Videz. Hi, Joseph. How are you, buddy?
Oh, Ferdinand, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for that awesome introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, I think I'm getting better and better and trying to introduce you. At the end of the day, there's a lot more to you, but I'm always trying to make sure that they fully understand the grasp of what you do. Like I said, you're a student at Cal State University San Bernardino. You're an international business student, but a lot of people don't realize that the reason why we do these things is because most of the time, we're trying to get them to see or have your perspective on it as a 22, 23-year-old some person
Yeah.
that can give that perspective, because a lot of times, depending on the market from the Philippines, they want to get your perspective. They want to know, because you're the buyers that they're actually trying to woo, again, depending on the product. And
Yeah,
that's
of
what
course.
something that I've always told you every time we prepare for the show.
Yeah, of course. So speaking on, like, especially with this golden saba and their kind of attraction to making a spin on the banana. So that's kind of the great thing about the banana, of how like versatile it is, how you can use it in many different forms. You can be using it, as we talked about earlier, banana chips. They can be in desserts, they can be ice cream, they can be used in cookies, they can even be just dried and eaten like
Stop!
that.
You're making me hungry. I haven't had dinner yet.
Sorry about that, Fernand. Just trying to
Anyway,
appeal,
go
yeah,
ahead.
just trying to
Continue your
appeal to
point.
the consumers. I'm just trying to appeal to the consumers and trying to get their interest in how many ways, different ways bananas can be prepared. And that's what Golden Saba is all about.
Well, the thing that I want to convey to all of our viewers is that not only your perspective, but you do such an amazing job in creating these market research, or again, we're calling it at Planet 63, as you know, empowerment data.
Yeah.
It's a form of research that you give basic information about that industry. And tell us a little bit about that in terms of how you put the research paper together, what you cover, and a little bit about, obviously, the Global Access Program. Put a little plug for the university, because I'm very, very proud to be associated with them. And obviously, you've been very valuable to Planet 63 and all the Philippine manufacturers that we're currently dealing with.
Yeah, of course. So I'd like to start off again with what Ferdinand had already mentioned. I am currently a senior at Cal State University of San Bernardino. I am in my final year. I am an intern in the Global Access Program that has helped me and Ferdinand partner in their internship program, especially with the figureheads of Dr. Vipin Gupta and Jamie Ayala. They're two individuals that have really helped me and in the ways I put these business reports for Ferdinand. And these are kind of the resources we use together through the Global Access Program and through the Jack H. Brown College as well. With that, we use many resources as well through the Cal State University San Bernardino Library. That's where I get the bulk of my information from. It's just as easy as going online. If you're a student, of course, if you just go online and kind of through there search specific topics, kind of like how I did through the banana market, especially in the U.S. Kind of through there branches out through different government organizations such as the USDA is where I get some of my information. Another website that I use through Cal State University of San Bernardino exclusively is IBIS. Through IBIS, it helps get through a lot of the information for especially the U.S. market. So that's kind of where a lot of the information comes from, and that's because again of the Global Access Program. And for Jamie Ayala as well, she is the one that helped me find these different types of websites and how to validate the type of information and where we can get it, and if it's of any sort of kind of reliability, and if there's any kind of truth to it with a lot of research behind it. You're muted, Ferdinand.
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
It's
The
all right.
muting thing. No, what I wanted to convey to the audience is that most of the Philippine manufacturers I deal with, when I do a survey,
Mm,
the number one issue or concern that they have is market research.
yeah,
They don't, just like I said in the top of the program, they want to know a little bit about where they're going before they
of
go
course.
there, obviously. And whether this is an extensive research that you do, or again, we're calling it empowerment data, that's what it is. It's just to empower. It's all of the information are accurate, up to date, but we don't go into a whole, dissertation, so to speak, I guess, so
Yeah.
many pages, volumes of pages.
Mhm.
We just hit the fine points enough so that people, the Philippine manufacturers and brand owners, will begin to do their own research in more details, but enough so that they'll go, that's a market I think I want to hit with all of those possibilities, right? And that's what you do every time you create one of these, mini research paper or empowerment data, right?
Yeah, of course. So, kind of what you said is we cover a lot of just things to get excited about. Kind of what we cover in these papers are kind of the barriers to entry through the industry, the type of competition to expect when you enter the industry, where you can take once you're inside the industry, where you can take your product, where you can go through the sort of distributors and different types of channels to look through. And it's not only through kind of where can I ship these through? It's also once they get shipped, is how do you streamline that through the target demographic, which is kind of a lot of what we do. We kind of put a lot of what the perspective of a university student, or is yourself as well, Ferdinand, as an adult male, kind of what to look for and what to expect from these different types of consumers for the product. So it is kind of just a peek of what we can offer through our marketing research.
Fantastic. With everything that you just said, let's get into the details of discussing the opportunities of bananas in the US market. But before we do that, of course, we want to, be appreciative of our supporters of the show. And one of them, we'd like to show a video of their product, and I hope you enjoy their or find it informative. So let's go ahead and take a quick break before we get right into your data, which I'm sure a lot of people will find interesting, because it's always very informative, short, and sweet. So please watch this video from one of our supporters.
Hi, I'm Dave with Papa J's Lamanog. Lamanog is something uniquely Filipino and seems to be one of the great kept secrets of the Philippines. Papa J's Lamanog is a clear, 80-proof spirit made from the nectar of a coconut flower. It's not made from the coconut water. It's not an artificially flavored coconut cocktail. It's made from the nectar taken from the flowers of a coconut tree. With every sip of Papa J's, you really get the breakdown of the islands of where it was made. And you get the brightness of the intense sunshine. You get the sense of the coral and the volcanic soil. You get the salty sweet sugar of the ocean, and you get that weighty feeling from the humidity of the island. The alcohol is produced naturally, and it's distilled in a husk-fired copper still. Can't wait to share it with you.
I love that. I love that commercial. Every time I think about it, I always think of happy hour, right? But it's a quality product, and I'm very proud to have them as part of our show. Now, we are back, of course, and for those who are just tuned in or fast forward the video, you are watching Planet 63's special edition of From Local to Global. And joining me today is Joseph Videz from Cal State University San Bernardino's Global Access Program. Internship program, to be more specific. He is majoring in international business. He is a Planet 63 intern and an intelligent market research writer. Now, I want to break down what we talked about before we went on break, which is the opportunities in banana. What we're going to do, bananas industry here in the U.S. market. Now, we're like I said, we're not just going to talk about bananas in general. The reality is that we also want to focus on this particular company called Golden Saba, or Saba. Sometimes I go back and forth with that. Now, as far as the product is concerned, they manufacture a product called Turon. But we'll get into that a little bit. But let's go into the research paper and go ahead and take it away, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you, Ferdinand. So I'll try not to bore anybody here with this marketing research, but it is kind of a little glimpse of into the overall banana market in the U.S., and kind of from there kind of stems out into the opportunities that could be taken for Golden Sabah and their company. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with what Ferdinand already talked about, in the U.S. being the leading importer of bananas in the world, being at 16.8 market share, And with that being said, it kind of brings together the different types of exporters of bananas, being India, the Philippines, Colombia, Costa Rica. These are all different competitors that bring different types of bananas into the US. So, with that being said, we can kind of be taken through what, in general, the consumption rate of bananas are. Doesn't really matter. Kind of the sweeter the better. The more you can put it in dessert, and the sweeter it tastes, the better for an American. That's kind of what we look for, is the sweet types of desserts that are still healthy. So that's kind of one of the main reasons for the growth rate of this industry, especially globally, with a growth of 4.9 compounded growth rate through 2026. So that's kind of a big percentage, especially through the globe, with bananas being the number one kind of fruit, so to speak, for consumption. That's kind of the favorite fruit. It's again, it can be eaten in many different ways. They have different tastes depending on how ripe they are, where they come from, type of how they're cultivated. And as you can see here, Golden Sabah kind of does it in different ways, where you can either they are kept frozen, where you can either fry them with different flavors with jackfruit, you can microwave them. Some of them have ube in them. They are all different fresh flavors, and of course, they're all natural ingredients. So that's kind of the big word, especially in the U.S. market and global market, is natural. So once somebody hears that in the U.S. natural, they think it's better for them. It's better for them, and the ingredients that are in that are premium. So with that, it's kind of the taste has to be different than what other competitors have to offer. So that's kind of one one way of taking advantage of what this different type of banana is kind of reaching through the consumer's taste and preferences and trying to expand that into different types of products. So with that being said, we're gonna try to go into specifically through the U.S. kind of what that looks like with the numbers. So with that, we'll go ahead and as these are all per Mordor Intelligence and IBIS, kind of with that, it's the industry is worth $5.4 billion US dollars, of course. And the growth rate went from a surprising 0.6% from 2016 onto 2020. Kind of impacted, this industry was impacted heavily by COVID-19, kind of bringing down a lot of the growth because of the international kind of exporting laws, and people kind of being scared of having to get this different type of produce from different types of regions of the world. So that kind of hurt it. But through 2021, there is a positive upsiding of a 1.7 annual growth rate, not just compounded annually, but that's a 1.7 annual growth rate through 2026. So it's kind of a little bit of a growth from 2021, especially after COVID-19. There is a positive kind of expectation for this industry, especially again with the different types of trends being set in throughout the United States, with California being the number one in business concentration for fruit consumption, especially in bananas. So with that, it's kind of they have a 12.7% business concentration from the United States, and kind of breaking it down into the regions. We have to kind of go through there. It's the number one being San Diego County, actually, with I believe it was 26.2%, with Los Angeles County following with like it was a 12% of business concentration. And with that being said, it's kind of the different types of trends that we see with the consumers wanting to be healthy and wanting to incorporate that as much as they want into their busy daily lives. It's kind of dieting on the go. So with this banana, sort of kind of the way it is also prepared, it's sweetened. So it's kind of sweet with the natural ingredients that gives it the I mean, how can you say, the reliability from consumers to be able to eat this product and not feel guilty about it, which is the good thing. It's with the U.S. especially, there's a huge kind of crisis with a weight and things like that. So it's kind of a thing to look out for.
What I wanted to ask you was that, again, we're basically doing some sort of a baseline of some sort in regards to bananas in general, because as you know, there's different types, right? Because that's what
Yeah.
we're featuring today. So with you, you know, touch a little bit about that in terms of, you know, you going back, you were describing earlier about bananas in general in the US. You know, put a little perspective on you, and what does that mean to you? Why would you from your perspective, some in your demographics, why is that true? Why do you think people are doing that? Again, probably people know, but it's obvious. But let's go tell the consumer, I mean the viewers, why, what's your perspective on that as a 22, 23-year old student?
Of course. So, kind of for me, when I look for, especially when I eat fruit, it's kind of banana is the safe choice. I already know how it tastes. It has a good taste, and the texture is something that I'm used to. So there's kind of the 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 way of not wanting to venture out into different things, because new fruits and tastes are hard to trust, especially if it's kind of mixed with different types of flavorings that are natural ingredients, like other types of fruits. It's kind of something hard to trust. So when from someone my perspective, eating bananas is just something kind of safe. It's a fruit that is incorporated in a lot of great tasting things. There's a lot of they have like a banana pudding. Love banana pudding. There's also they have banana pie. There's the banana chips. From my Hispanic heritage as well, there's we make banana chips, and there's only like one specific brand that we can get, and that's only here in Southern California, kind of in the little shops or bodegas as we call them over in Los Angeles County. And with that, it kind of offers just a specific flavor that you're looking for. So with this kind of flavor that you want to look for, it's kind of like a foreign that can't really be a foreign flavor that can be imitated. So with that, it's kind of, if especially for us, for me, I kind of like displaying kind of pride in my heritage and my culture, and that starts with eating the types of food. So food is like the number one thing you look for when you look into another culture. You ask, well, how good is your food, or what kind of things do they eat? So with that being said, it's kind of the banana is like a segue for especially how I mentioned in the report is schools. Schools are great advocates through the youth of how eating fruit is important for health. So again, that health trend kind of corresponds through social media and influencers, and especially people of my age, especially probably from like 16 to 21 years old, are very impressionable growing up in high school, and they want to achieve what a lot of these people look or what they eat and the types of regimens that they follow. So that kind of follows through with this kind of trendy food. Again, it's healthy, it's great tasting, and it's just flavors that are not familiar. Bananas are kind of just a fruit again that we're all just used to eating, and that's why it is the most heavily consumed fruit, not only in the U.S. but also in around the world.
Well, like you said, obviously everybody knows bananas. So now anybody who is from other countries, but specifically Philippines, when they're watching this and they're listening to you, they should pay attention to the things that you're saying, only because at the end of the day, um, what's the bottom line is that you're the demographics that they want to introduce new products to, not
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a certain older demographics. They want to introduce what makes your demographic amazing, is that you're open to different types, as long as it's of high quality, right? And you know it's
Yeah, of
healthy,
course.
and you know it's organic
Mm,
and all of that. So anybody from the Philippines who's trying to market innovative or new types of products made from bananas or different types of bananas, this is what it's all about. They need to pay attention to just what you basically said. Now, you touched on the U.S. fruits and vegetable market, right? Yeah.
yes.
Again, what was, I want you to go back to that, because to me that's
Mhm.
staggering. I think that's something that needs to be repeated to convey that to Philippine manufacturers and realize that this is the size of the U.S. market, and for you to ignore it, for you to say, I don't know if I want to try because of certain challenges, blah blah blah. If you're going to export, this is the market to do that. it's just a matter of what style of exporting you want to do. Do you want to go all in and ship, like, you want to go national right away, or you just want to go local? And you sort of mentioned that already. What do you think about that in terms of the U.S. market, and also the Philippine manufacturers hemming and hawing, or hesitating whether they should go to this market or not?
Well, of course. So, kind of with this report, it should encourage the Philippine industries to come in through the U.S. market, because the ways they can stay through this is, again, the barriers to entry are kind of are low in this industry, because they're so fragmented. There's so many different there's different types of suppliers and distributors for bananas in general as well, that it's kind of makes the easy entry for small companies especially to come in through and make their kind of revenue. And the way they can keep that is kind of where they can sell their products. Great ways to sell their products, especially in the US, are farmers markets. So farmer markets, or like Whole Foods markets, are kind of where the population, especially for this demographic, it's targeted. Surprisingly, for bananas and fruits and vegetables in the U.S., the target demographic would be from 51 years old to 70-year-old adults. So, kind of with that, it's the older population, only because bananas are used as for their special diets with their vitamins and supplements that help them. Kind of with what we know, kind of basic potassium. There's other vitamins like B6. They have a C5, things like that help with types of like ligament and joint mobility. That's great for the older population, and especially for the older women that are more statistically available, or actually go grocery shopping, are kind of the target audience in this kind of the farmers market, with especially with these natural ingredients that have a lot of appeal for these consumers. That's why the U.S. is kind of a great spot, because these farmers markets and these Whole Food spots are very trendy right now, coming up a lot through social media. So, with that being said, those are kind of little markets to take advantage of in the U.S. And with that, it's kind of seeing through the future trends. As Ferdinand mentioned, it is important to get exposure off through the earlier age demographics, such as myself, 22-year-old university student, or 18-year-old in high school. Kind of the exposure goes a long way to have that again reach through that target demographic, and where the consumption has to increase. So, kind of with the knowledge of already with the consumption of bananas at such an early age, it kind of just increases over time. So, I don't know about you, Ferdinand, if you've eaten more bananas through your I'm not saying you're old or anything, but I mean, if you've eaten more bananas as when you were a kid, because especially right now, when I was in high school, I did not eat as many fruits as I do now, especially in college, kind of through more exposure, seeing other people experiencing new kind of inputs of things, how to take care of yourself. It's kind of health does go a long way. Muted again, Ferdinand.
We're bringing this level of discussion to everyday uses, right? Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the way Planet 63 does its marketing is, practicality. Our approach to the market is not so much let's plan a global takeover or a national takeover United States of your market. The things that we do, and the reason why Joseph's research paper is based on local areas, especially in the Southern California area, is because the university is in Southern California. It's in the city of San Bernardino, and the
Mhm.
county of San Bernardino,
Yeah.
and a place called Inland Empire. And we focus on getting to know that market, because at the end of the day, what Philippine manufacturers need to keep in mind is always just get into the market, build that market, go out slowly. Because at the end of the day, it's just like when you first started your business. Okay, these are sort of my little advice, I guess, or maybe the thought process that people should consider the Philippine manufacturers, is that it's when you first started, you didn't think about ruling the Philippines in terms of the market share. You started in probably in one of your villages or a city or a little town or whatever, and you started from there and get people to try it. And it's the same mindset to a certain degree. So it's important that you also obviously need to know the research paper, and that's what Planet 63 is doing with these type of research paper. And that's why Joseph is talking about mainly about those local areas, and to me, that's where everybody should start. And that's what you're going to find interesting about these research papers, or we call them again empowerment data. And for the people that are interested in reading not only the research paper that you're seeing on the screen, but also other research paper, like men's clothing, women's clothing, furniture, beverages. They're all going to be, you can download or just read them from our website. It's available on planet63.com, just like what you see on the screen. As far as reading that, again, they're quick reads, so to speak, probably 2, maybe 3 pages at most. And at least it'll give you an idea what it's all about, what some of the things that you need to really invest in, which is more data. Now, Joseph, what we're going to do is we're going to go into a little bit more about, again, what I already sort of touched on, which is where to market the product and things of that nature. Like, for example, you already discussed barriers to entry, a little bit of the competition. Maybe we could deal more about the competition and go more into that, and then also maybe do a recommendation. But before we do that, let me go ahead and see if we can do another infomercial, or rather a commercial or a break, before we get into the competition or recommendation that you're going to talk about. Okay?
Okay, of course.
Thank you, Joseph. And that was from one of our supporter, Asia Pacific USA.com. We love their support. They continue to support and let people know about this show, because they're all about empowering small businesses as well as giving them ideas on how to source products from the Philippines. Hello, everyone. Just in case you just tuned in, I'd like to welcome all of you back to Planet 63's From Local to Global Special Edition. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, the founder of Planet 63. We are a product sourcing, logistics management, and export marketing company. And today we're talking about market research, of all things, the banana industries. And today I am joined by a student intern from the Cal State University, San Bernardino. And the reason why he's on the show is because he writes a lot of the research paper that we do, that we provide to our clients. He's a student intern for the Cal State University San Bernardino's Global Access Program. He is an international business student, and he's an intern for the Global Access Program as well as an intern for Planet 63. Please welcome back Joseph Videz. Hey, Joseph, welcome back, buddy.
Oh, Ferdinand, thank you.
Yeah, so when we went on break, we were talking about barriers to entry, competition. We were talking about bananas in general. So now, for the remainder of the show, let's talk a little bit about the competition, what you said about the research paper. And again, for all those people who are interested in seeing the research paper, let me go ahead and bring this up on the screen. It's available on planet63.com. You can see different types of research paper that Joseph has done that involves women's clothing, men's clothing, arts and crafts, beverages, and also different types of food. So you can go directly to www.planet63.com, and you can download the paper or just basically read it from there. So Joseph, let's talk about the competition, the barriers to entry, and then let's specifically tell the audience about what is turon, because they're actually looking at it right there, so they got to know what that is. And again, we won't say anything about it until you finish your barriers to entry and competition regarding the banana industry. So go ahead and take it away.
Of course. So, kind of what this goes under is the Planet 63 recommendation. It's kind of what we recommend for different types of Philippine industries, kind of what we see is potential through the US market and kind of ways they can take advantage of that. So, what we're going to start off is with the barriers to entry. So, the barriers to entry are low in this industry. So that's great for small companies to come in because they require very small capital to kind of start up, especially with fruits. So, kind of with that being said, the competition following, because the barriers of entry are low, it kind of brings high competition because the segments are so fragmented. There's different types of companies coming in, and there's just they're producing at different types of regions and different types of kind of taste. That's why the competition is so high. But that's nothing to kind of worry about because there's always high competition, and that's kind of what you want is high competition for industries, is kind of to compete in different ways to with having the better product, kind of in the ways that to stay competitive through the market is kind of maintaining and having to establish a brand name quickly. So that's kind of again kind of establishing in the different types of suggested markets like farmers markets or Whole Foods, kind of those types of retail stores that have the type of premium products that they sell with their premium ingredients. And with that, it kind of helps maintain the competition, is maintaining that brand line, and also being close proximity to these high markets. So the first two we have are San Diego and Los Angeles counties. So with that is kind of keeping, especially in Southern California, kind of the weather is a little bit warm. So there's kind of a lot of agricultural types of climates that come through Southern California that can help kind of these companies keep the proximity into these markets to maintain their fresh and natural ingredients, which is one of the things that help consumers kind of diversify, if you want to say it that way, these different products is what is the best tasting and the most natural. So
I,
those are kind of different ways.
I think overall, in terms of competition, I always think that um, because of the market demand for healthier products. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we just talked about the bananas in general, the consumption, and the brand bananas has always been around. Everybody knows what a banana is, right? So
Yeah.
now it's getting to the point where, to me, competition, um, you can get ahead of the competition obviously by creating innovative products with these things, and that's what I'm always encouraging. That's what exporting is all about, where in a country something like the product that we just showed on the screen maybe as normal as night and day or whatever, but you go to another country, that's completely a different amazing product. So at the end of
Yeah.
the day, what we're just trying to prove, and anything in all of the discussions we've had so far, is create something unique, and that's how you can take care of the concerns about competition. Competition being when it comes to quality, when it comes to the uniqueness, when it comes to the price. And Golden Saba, I mean, we can go into a little bit on that now, but it's sort of unique, and I can tell you more about it, but I wanted just to add on to what you were saying about the competition. So unless you finish with that thought process, then let's get
Oh
into
yeah,
the
no, you're good. Yeah,
no.
we can
But
go on.
as far as that, like I said, when I was reading the paper,
Mhm.
the research paper that you had, and believe it or not, I actually read your paper.
Yeah.
So the markets that you mentioned, again, the reason why we're so excited about that is just because when you mentioned San Diego, you
Mhm.
mentioned San Francisco or New York. Those are all the major markets, yes,
Mhm.
but they're also where a lot of Filipinos are concentrated. There's like over 4 million Filipino Filipinos, Filipino Americans in the United States. And that's the reason why we focus on, and that's why you and I agreed that we should focus on San Diego, San Francisco, maybe even Nevada, but mostly Southern California, because that's what we know. And that there's already a lot of Filipinos in those areas that can sort of act and create exposure to their products. And again, that's what leads me, or that's going to segue into our discussion about Golden Saba, which is the product that we did this research paper for. So unless you want to add on to that, I guess what else did you want to add on?
Well, other than that, I mean, just kind of Los Angeles, of course, being the #1 industry with, I believe it was the 21.23% of business concentration inside of California, with San Diego following with only 9.24%. So that's kind of a big jump of business concentration. And that's mainly because, again, what you mentioned is the population and how diverse it is, and the way they consume things is different. Kind of with this Golden Saba, again, with the Turon. I didn't know what a Turon was, kind of looking at their products, but they do look pretty good and tasty. What I do recognize, that they are wrapped in like a spring or rice paper texture with fruits inside. So that's kind of so that's kind of different than what everybody is used to seeing in types of especially in Los Angeles. It's kind of like a boiling pot of different race and ethnicities and different types of delicacies, such as Turon. So again, keeping the proximity close to Southern California, which is fortunately where we kind of operate mainly in San Diego and kind of Los Angeles, and again, like Santa Clara County being in Northern California, but that's kind of again, for the agricultural reasons. That's why it's important to stay close to these key markets, because of the agricultural type of advantage that it has on other types of competitors.
Well, generally speaking, again, the commonality with all those markets that you've mentioned, it's really about the diversity and also the openness to try these variety of products. Not only because I mentioned Filipinos, but if you notice Whole Foods and all these Trader Joe's unique outlets for unique products, most of them are in these markets because they know that in those markets, you're going to find people that are at least going to try, I guess for that's what I'm saying, try, open mind about trying different products because of, like you said, of the diversity. And then going into, I don't know if it's the try because it's unique or it's because it's healthy. It's just a matter of how you want to market it. But I think there's more of that openness, so to speak, for in these markets to try a product like different types of bananas or different types of products from a banana, like Golden Saba with the Turon. Okay, so that's what I noticed. And again, that's just to sort of reiterate what I think you were trying to say. And that's why, again, for a Philippine manufacturer to plan or create an opportunity to go into these markets, those what we all recommend. So why don't we keep talking about this banana. So I'm going to talk about what a Turon is, or a Saba banana. So we can go into that a little bit. Now, for those people who are not familiar with it, I'm actually going to read a definition of it, or at least what you can Google, and what I found what it is. Now, Saba bananas, okay, they're native to the Philippines. And Saba bananas they're chubbier. I love the way they describe this thing. Chubbier, thicker, and more angular in shape than standard bananas. They can be found as in most Asian markets, but like the produce itself, under various names such as Cardaba, sweet plantain, or papaya banana. I mean, again, the whole name Saba or Saba is so foreign to a lot of people already, and then you throw in papaya banana, Cardaba, sweet plantain. Now everybody's confused, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. And the Philippines grows most of this amazing stuff, or this type. I'm sure other countries grow it, but
Mhm.
it's native to the Philippines. And that's the reason why they created an entire industry there, or dessert, just based on this type of banana. So they got creative with it. So I don't know if you knew that, but I'm sure you research bananas in general. That's why now we're tying all of that in and saying, okay, well, everybody loves bananas, then you gotta love this type of banana because
Yeah.
of what it can be used for, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so before I go into what is turon, have you ever heard of a papaya banana, cardaba, sweet plantain, Joseph?
No, I did not. I didn't even think there was that many different names for one type of banana.
Well, sweet plantain, you know what a
Oh,
plantain is.
plantain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never tried. Again, I never venture out. I just hear banana and I'm like, all right, banana sounds good. So I'd rather get a banana than a plantain, even though I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. But just from hearing plantain, I'm like, okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't trust that. And that's again, from my kind of demographic is just staying within. Again, some of us are kind of open to trying different things. Others are very kind of stuck to what we know. So again, kind of that's why it was interesting, kind of that they have so many different names for
Oh, definitely.
banana. Yeah.
Well, you see the product that they're looking at on the screen is called a turon. Now, let me
Hmm.
go ahead and talk about turon, why this thing is relevant in terms of, it has a market here. We don't know yet how big the market will be. We just basically just created a baseline for bananas in general, right? So,
Yeah.
with that being said, let me go ahead and define what is turon, what you're seeing there. It's typically served for merienda, which is translated to that word merienda to Philippine afternoon snack or dessert. Turon has the perfect blend of flavor and texture, and turon is a treat in many ways. And then what people do with it when they make it, it's they put jackfruit, little bits of jackfruit, or
Hmm.
maybe even some ube, I guess. And it's crunchy. It's like Joseph said. It's wrapped in what is it that you said it was
It was
wrapped
like
in?
a rice paper.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of
rice
like
paper
spring
of some
rolls.
sort, and
Hmm.
they deep fry this thing. Okay, and the
Hmm.
banana is so amazing just for that purpose. I don't think a regular banana would work. I don't know. I've never tried deep frying a banana. I'm
Yeah,
sure it would
probably
work too.
not.
But you see the history that when I was a kid, I used to eat that also, and never did understand the rice paper and what they use. So maybe that was just stupid on my part. But in reality, the reason why I think this is a great product to be here in the US because, like I said, just on the Filipinos alone, right?
Yeah.
Over 4 million, right? So
Hmm.
you've got a product that a lot of people already know in some way, somehow about it, whether they tasted it or heard of it from relatives or whatever, right? Or pictures.
Yeah.
But you
Hmm.
see, the uniqueness of it is going to be where some people may want to try it, or they could go to a regular restaurant, Filipino restaurant, but in certain parts of the U.S., maybe they might not have it. And
Yeah.
this is the best product that would represent the taste of this Turon because this company has been around for such a long time, and making these products are obviously one of their specialties. And again, if you don't have time to do it, I guess it's relatively easy if you want to make it. But if you're in a hurry and you don't have time, this is just something, it comes in this form already, and I think you just fry it. And it could be deep fry or air fry, from reading from the product. So the uniqueness of it, or the attraction of it, is if you have a taste, or you're hankering, as they say, to a certain taste, crunchy, sweet, and all of that. You're looking at a product that can be that can satisfy that in terms of your love for regular bananas. But like again, this is a different type of banana.
Yeah, and that's just kind of what I was thinking is again, when speaking of like Los Angeles County, it's kind of fragmented and they have different sectors, of ethnicities. They do have like they do have the Korean sector. They do have again, I'm half Salvadorian. They do have like a Salvadorian sector, kind of where you get those banana chips that I was talking about earlier. It's kind of a great way to bring again a different flavor into the market, which is why the appeal for Los Angeles County and San Diego County are huge because, as Ferdinand mentioned, there are 4 million Filipino Americans, and it's just a trying to bring these different types of products that they can share not only with the people around them that are not Filipino Americans, that are from different ethnicities, but that's kind of where the exposure branches out from. It's kind of when somebody discovers something new, they kind of want to streamline the product. They record it, they post it on their Snapchat, Instagram, or what have you, Twitter, and they say that this product tastes really great. So that's again a lot of where the exposure can come great. And again, with the diversity, with everybody wanting to now with the globalization, especially with how it's taking root and how the future is for globalization, with people wanting to kind of growing out of that shell, so to speak, and wanting to reach into different regions and different aspects and experiences. And I think, again, having these different products that are not sold, I don't even think I've heard of a Turon before hearing about this or even remotely sold in the US. So I think it's kind of a great way to bring a different culture into the US and kind of that way raise awareness for these products. And it's just I think a great way, especially in these counties, why they're so high in population is because of the diversity. And that's kind of where I see the product as representation of the culture and the different things they have to offer. And once you have something in the Filipino that's good, you would probably want to investigate and branch out more into that. So I think that's why it can be like a really great like staple type of like mini dessert that they can advertise.
Okay. The thing that we want to emphasize again before I run out of time here, we will be featuring more of these research empowerment data in future episode of our show. So please, when you watch the show, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's Planet 63. This will enable you to let you know if we have new products that we're promoting, new product from the Philippines, of course, new show. So it's important that, go ahead and please subscribe. We want you to subscribe so you can be notified of all these new things coming up. And again, you've been watching Planet 63's special edition of From Local to Global. And I'm joined by Joseph Fidesz of Cal State University San Bernardino's Global Access Program. He is our prolific writer when it comes to the many research paper that we've been doing. Or we call it empowerment data. So we've been covering the industry of bananas and also covering the Philippine product called Turon and a company called Golden Saba. Hopefully you enjoyed and you found the information interesting. Again, whether you are a US-based entrepreneur, you are a Philippine manufacturer, all of these things are amazing information for you to know to create some sort of decision about wanting to go into the US market. Because at the end of the day, those numbers that Joseph told you should be enough of an empowerment and encouragement for you to want to go into the US market. And with all that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching the show. And let's go ahead and say, let's go global.